Morning guys, so today I'm going to be attacking the turbo. What had happened is I'm getting turbo actuator faults. So I think I've misaligned the turbo, as I cannot fault anything with the wiring, no boost leaks, nothing like that. So the only thing which I'm leading to is when I've done that turbo actuator, I may have misaligned it slightly, and when I'm driving in 6th gear, it'll go into negative boost. So when this happens, basically I go into limp mode, I lose all power and my turbo doesn't boost up anymore. I've given this plenty of time and just wanted to see how it would go. It's not really something that I want to go pulling out and trying to adjust to put back on when it is such a prick of a job to do. So I'm just going to fit a new turbo. Alright, so just so you guys get a general gist of where I'm going with this, we're going to be, obviously, yeah, as I said before, car on stands, remove the front wheel. Then I'm going to focus on drive shaft and upper control arm. You want to get your upper control arm done first because it gives you heaps more room for that downpipe actually, so that's in the wrong order. So I'll go front drive shaft, upper control arm, downpipe, intake hosing because then I have more room. You also got to do exhaust heat shields. Joys of being left-handed on the whiteboard, you can't rest your hand. And then looking at the nuts for the turbo, I think people normally make up some sort of socket facing the wrong way to get to the nuts. So just so you guys got a bit of a step-by-step as to where I'm going to be looking at aiming. The only difference is now I've noticed that these guys probably aren't going to hear me very well anymore. With the old tin, I might need to put some insulating panels on the roof to try and deaden this noise down. It's bloody horrendous. Alright guys, cross members off for the trans. All you need for that is an 18mm and a 16mm, and that'll do all the 5 bolts that you need. Now, the reason I pulled that off is because it's very tight for room otherwise, so you're continuously trying to wiggle it through this gap to get your exhaust and your drive shaft out, and it just makes life hell. So for the extra 10 minutes, it's just really worth the effort. There's one thing I've learned about Landys is that normally you try and avoid pulling stuff off. In Land Rover life, I just commit, and if I think something's going to be in my way, I don't mess around, pull it off right from the get-go. So to get the downpipe off, you obviously just got your 3 bolts up top. I'm not sure if it should come out easy actually. You got a slip yoke up here, so that's where the downpipe joins to. Now I don't know if I can slide this separate enough without actually dropping the exhaust. because these rubber mats have a certain amount of flex in them, but not that much, so I'm probably going to have to drop this exhaust down again like on my engine removal. There's only five mounting brackets, and you just spray them with a bit of WD-40 to pop them off. So so front drive shaft, they're E10 bolts, and obviously 6 at the front, 6 at the back. Now it is important to know, or to note, that these are technically a one-time use bolt. I've used mine before. I used them again when I've done the engine rebuild, and I'm about to use them again now, but I'm going to come back and change them later on. I forgot to order some, so I don't trust that they're going to be good a third time in a row. So maybe just keep that in mind as well when you're buying your parts. Apart from that, yeah, it's rather noisy in here as well because of the rain, so. Alright, heat shielding's off, upper control arm's off. So these two heat shields you can get out without pulling the upper control arm, and then this back one's very tight. So if you peel this back, you can sort of get your socket in on this upper control arm bolt. Now that is a, what size is that again? 18mm on the bolt head, 21mm on the nut. All I'm going to do now is just pop these hoses and stuff out of the way. And then heat guard, oil pipe work. That drain tube on the bottom is going to be a prick. And then downpipe. And then the fun part. Alright, so downpipe's off. I also unplugged. Let me get the other GoPro out of the way. Yeah. Also unplugged the turbo actuator. And got the heat shield off of the top of the turbo so I can get to those bolts. They're two 8mm. So you got one here and then one on the exhaust crossover on the side. So you got to come right back here, and it's like up there somewhere anyway. Exhaust downpipe bolts are a 15mm ideally don't try it unless you've got a single hex socket. And the turbo feed pipe is a T45 Torx bit. So I just use the Torx bit socket and then use an 8mm ratchet on it. Your side exhaust manifold bolt was easy to get to from here. Top one, I ended up having a crack from the side as well. I used my spanner because of the off angle, put a socket on the end of the spanner and put my extension on that because I couldn't interlock the spanners properly with how close it is to the wheel arch. We then have the turbo support bracket, which was here. That's a 12mm nut there, two 10mm bolts there, and yeah, so I'm gonna go have dinner and stuff. I've only been out here about an hour and a half because I've pulled everything apart already like 4 months ago. It's actually coming apart pretty easy. So if I can't get something undone, I pretty much touched every bolt in this engine bay, so it's definitely my fault. Yeah, so tomorrow morning I'm just going to come out, I'll attack the 3 mounting face bolts, and then I'm going to attack the bottom support bracket. I also think I've got a leak in my front timing cover, unfortunately, and I got a feeling that I may not have put 3-bond on the bottom of the oil pump where it meets the sump. It does stipulate to do that. So if it is leaking, that was something when I put it together that I was like, fuck, I didn't do that. So yeah, I may end up having to pull timing cover off and having a look inside of there. But quality control, people, otherwise you end up like me doing everything bloody twice. And I normally don't have redos, so it's really getting to me. See you in the morning. Morning, day 2, guys. Obviously I didn't spend that long yesterday, about an hour and a half-ish, so just gonna start making this tool up straight away. So it's gonna be like 2 sockets and a flat plate so that I can put an extension on from this angle. I think that's what everyone else seems to do. So I'm just gonna sacrifice my sockets. Perfect. And that's how bird poo is made. We not fancy, but we cheap. Christian and Vera, if you're watching this, we do get winter here, mate, as you can see. Got my winter clothes on. Normal shirt, no singlet. and socks with my Crocs because I'm all about fashion. No, this is starting to get a bit cooler now, so it's nice that I'm in a shed where I can keep this garage door shut and work on my car. Alright guys, there's the tool. So yeah, I've made it so it can fit up to a 19mm socket. But obviously it's a 13mm that's needed for this one. But yeah, apart from my bird poo welds, I hope it's strong enough. But you'll see what I'm going to do with it now. Right, so I've managed to get this cracked now and spun. Before I actually finish removing that last stud, I'm just going to, while everything's tight, crack these 2 turbo oil drain lines off, bolts, sorry. And I'm very tempted to pull this diff mount here off, just so I can get more room into the last bolt for the turbo mounting bracket as well. I feel like pulling that will just give me enough to get what I want. Got the dog. So all metal's inside of there. Also got metal in the probably in the oil centre there. So you know what, I don't care. It's over it. So these studs here, I'm not using them. I'm going to put bolts in because I don't want to have to deal with that again. I'm just going to give this face a quick polish up, make sure it's nice and smooth. I've also got a gasket for that now. From factory, they don't come with a gasket fitted. They're just a machined interference face, but if you're doing this job, definitely put a gasket on. They do, so I've got the Phi gasket kit, but it comes with everything you need basically, and a syringe to put oil in. But this turbo that I bought also came with a heap of stuff as well. So, yeah. And oil already in the syringe ready to roll. But prep those faces up. Well, I'm going to take the dogs for a walk now and then I'm going to prep them faces up, but yeah, see you shortly.